Hello and welcome to Johnny Blender 3 Part 17. In the previous section we went over the Mesh Deform modifier, but right now we don't really need to mess with that, so let's go ahead and turn that layer off that it's on. Also, we don't really need to mess with the rig right now, so we'll go ahead and turn that layer off and just zoom in there on the face, and we will work on that. Now this facial rig is going to be a little different from what I showed you in Johnny Blender 2, or for that matter Johnny Blender 1. We're going to be using a different technique. We're going to use shape keys with shape key drivers, and the drivers themselves will be bones, part of the rig, but they won't be deforming the mesh the way the other bones are for the body and things like that. So we'll get into that later on. So right now let's just worry about creating some expressions that we can animate with. First thing we need to do is go ahead and add a shape key. The first one we add is going to be basis, and that's just telling the mesh that this is the base, this is the solid, this is it. This is its default view, the base. It's the basis for all the other shape keys to go from. So if you mess with this, you mess with the whole model, if that makes sense. Create a shape key that's going to just mess with that one, but you mess with the basis, it messes with the default. So I say messes with, I don't know, that sounds bad. If you edit the basis, then you're editing the model itself, and if you edit a shape key, you're just editing a shape key, a version of that model that you can change, but you can't change the basis. So anyways, let's start with the chin, the jaw. We're going to have it open and close, the most basic form of facial animation. So we're going to call this chin underscore down. There we go. And let's tab into edit mode. Go into side view there. And for the general purposes of facial animation, the top teeth are never going to move. They're pretty much going to stay put no matter what. So we're going to Control L, select all of those after you've selected one of the vertices, of course. And we're going to go ahead and hide them. Now, if you want to see them while you're working, just go into wireframe view, and then you can go to your model, and here on subsurf, turn on the visible and edit mode. But if you turn on the apply modifier to cage, it hides it then. But if you just turn it on visible and edit mode, you can come in and you can see kind of the rounded version. That's, if we come out of edit or out of wireframe view, you can see the rounded model is being displayed beneath the normal cage, the unsmoothed polygons, lines, edges, things of that nature. And you can also, in wireframe view, kind of see a ghost of the top teeth. So if you need a reference to see those from, that's how you do it. So let's grab all of the bottom teeth because they will be moving, and then we'll grab a little bit of the bottom of the mouth inside there, and then some on the chin, maybe this whole chin area to there, and maybe let's get there as well, because we want a little bit of the, around the top lip coming down as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open our jaw, or hinge our jaw, I guess, move our jaw down, but I'm going to try to keep the lips closed, and we will control the opening and closing of the lips differently, so we can move the jaw around without actually opening the mouth, so he can be chewing on something or whatever. So okay, so we got that. Let's turn on our proportional fall off, proportional editing. There we go. And let's put our 3D cursor up here. And you know what? I'm going to come back into solid view. It's a little easier to see that way. Let's rotate around our 3D cursor. And you can see, you can rotate that down. Let's increase our fall off a little bit. Not too much. So we don't want to go too high up here and start affecting the eye area, because that just will not look the way it needs to. I want to get some more of that top lip. So let's select those guys there. And tell you what, let's select these guys as well. There we go. Okay, so that will probably work. Let's see how it looks. Go back to our object data and scroll our value up and down. There you go. We can up and down, chew as gum or whatever. But as you know, when you're chewing something, it's not just an up and down movement. Your jaw kind of rotates, so you can grind things against your teeth. So let's add a couple of more in here. A couple of more shape keys. So we'll say chin left. Okay? and we're going to have it come rotate to the left. Now, we're going to also have it rotate to the right, so we needed to keep track of exactly how we rotate this down and to the right, or to the left, so we can mirror it perfectly on the other side. So let's hit R, and then we're going to hit, let's hit 10 degrees. Actually, let's escape out of there. We need to turn off X mirror right now because it's not going to be a symmetrical shape. It's going to be pointing to the left a little bit more because he's, you know, chewing to the left side. Anyways, so we'll hit R now to rotate, and let's hit 10 degrees and the minus button, so negative, and then hit enter. And then let's move it down a little bit so that the teeth don't go through each other. We're going to hit G, and we're going to hit negative 0.1 on the Z axis. There we go. So you hit G, negative 0.1 Z, and it'll rotate it and move it down like so. And we'll just tab out, and you can see, there we go. And then this one, it'll be a lot easier to see it in effect once we get the drivers on there. Okay, so let's create a third one here. Call this one chin underscore right, and tab into edit mode. And this time we're going to hit R again, and 10 degrees, and we don't have to hit negative this time because we're going to the correct side already. Enter, and now we'll hit G, negative 0.1 on the Z axis. Enter again, tab out. And now we basically have the exact opposite side going like that. Now, his mouth is closed by default and his teeth are together, but what I like to do is add a fourth shape for the mouth to kind of pooch the lips out a little bit. So like if he's chewing something, it'll be like his lips will come down, and then it'll chew up and it'll pooch out a little bit, and it just looks more natural. So let's add one more, and we'll call this one chin underscore scrunch. Okay, we'll tab in here, and let's go ahead and just deselect everything. And we'll grab the chin here and a little bit of the lips up here, and just rotate those if we can get it ever so slightly, like so. Okay, so then it'll be like that. And one other thing we can do, go back to the chin down part, moves all the way down. Since your jaw's moving down, the skin is going to kind of stretch in this direction, so the mouth needs to kind of get a little bit narrow. So let's tab into edit mode for this shape key, and let's select this loop around the mouth here. A couple of edges there if we can grab them. There we go. And just scale them on the x-axis just a little bit, about like so. So now when you move it down, you can see it looks a little bit more natural. And kind of the opposite for the chin scrunch. So let's do that. Let's scale it out a little bit then. There we go. Okay. So now we've got our chin movement down. Let's go ahead and add our lips opening. So let's say top lip, and we'll say up. Okay, top lip up, and then we'll tab in here, and let's go ahead and unhide the top teeth so we can kind of have a basis to go from for showing these teeth. And let's just grab one point there on the upper lip, like so, and let's drag it perfectly up on the Z axis. I just hit G and then Z, and I'm just dragging my mouse and drag it up until right before you can see the tops of the teeth, because that's not a desirable outcome to you know, see the teeth are actually just hovering in empty space there. And tell you what, let's go ahead and turn our mirror back on. Come down here. There we go. And we're going to grab one of these corners over here, and that is the wrong place. Let's see. There it is. Mesh options, not translate options. So now, so slightly, and just drag it up about right there. Maybe we can get the corner of the mouth up a little bit too. Okay, so let's tab back out. Let's see what that looks like. It reminds me of when I was in kindergarten class during our school pictures. The teacher told me to say cheese, and so cheese, that's what my kindergarten picture looked like. I wasn't smiling, I was saying cheese. That's what they told me to say, so that's about what it looked like. So anyways, okay, top lip up. Let's add another one. Bottom underscore lip down, and we'll do the same deal. Grab the bottom lip, piece of it there. Actually, just grab up in here. Right there. Move that down on the Z-axis. Increase our fall off just a little bit. Let's see how far can we go down to about right. That'd probably be good right there. And let's do the same thing over here in the corners. Drag it down. About right there. Okay. So now bottom lip down. And let's see what happens when we do the top lip up. Okay, so we got him showing his teeth now. Let's give him a smile. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to make him a smile, and he's going to smile on both sides at the same time. But sometimes we might just kind of want to have a cocky smile, and he's only kind of smiling on one side, kind of a smirk. So I'll show you how to do that. So let's add another key here, and we'll just call this one smile. You know what, let's go ahead and call it smile.l, because we're going to eventually turn it to just the left side, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's tab in here, and let's go ahead and create this smile. Let's move those corners up a little bit, and then just kind of rotate them. And we're still rotating around the 3D cursor, so let's control comma, so we're around the median point instead. Now, when you smile, the corners of your mouth don't just go up, they kind of go inwards as well and kind of wrap around your teeth. So let's bring those in about like so. And let's see how that looks. That doesn't look too bad. Could use a little touch-ups, a little touching up here and there. Pooch this out a little bit. Kind of smiling into the wrinkles there, so let's bring those out. So we get a nice deep wrinkle and dimples there in the cheeks. Zoom in and grab the right one. There we go. And let's kind of move the upper cheek. When you smile, that kind of goes up a little bit too. So let's draw those up. And maybe the corner of the nose kind of comes up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there we go. It's a pretty decent smile, I think. Tell you what, let's do. When you smile, your nostrils kind of spread out a little bit as well. It's kind of a weird shape going on right here. Let's smooth that up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And say he wants to show his teeth, so we'll say top lip up. And smile. So now you can see that when he smiles, we got a nice gap, or not a nice gap, but a gap between the edge of the mouth and the teeth. And if you look in the mirror and smile, depending on how you smile, the corners of the mouth pretty much stay lined up with the teeth. So let's do this. We're going to grab smile.l, tab into edit mode, but I want to be able to see those other two shape keys at the same time as I'm working on this. So let's go ahead and hit the apply shape keys in edit mode. So now we can kind of see those in effect. And be careful when you do this, because you got to make sure you're on the right shape key. Otherwise you might mess up one of the other ones. So Let's grab the corners of the mouth and move those in and see how this will look in compliance with the smile, or the lips going up and down to show the teeth. So we can kind of see combination effect, how that's going to look. Oh, there we go. And that looks a little bit better. See? All right. So let's go ahead and clear everything out. You can do that by clicking each one and then running the slider down to 0. Or you can click this little down arrow here. Actually, not that one. The X. Just hit the X. So say we were smiling and the bottom lip was down and the top lip was up. Just like before, if we hit the X there, boom, it clears all of them out. So you can see they're all 0 again. Now, as I was saying, to create two different sides, first off, let's copy this side. We're going to run it all the way up to 1. And if, by the way, when you add a new shape key, any of the keys that are not 0 get added into the new shape keys. So tell you what, if we were saying, okay, let's add a new shape key, it's going to copy this pose to this new key. So even if we clear everything out, this key is going to have those two combined poses in it. So let's go ahead and delete that. And the only one we want, actually, let's see, the minus, there we go. The only one we want to copy is this smile.l. So let's go ahead and run that all the way up to 1. New key, and we'll call this one smile.r. Okay, and if we clear that out, you can see this one does the same thing. Now, how do we get these applied to individual sides? Well, that relies on vertex groups. So we'll tab into edit mode, and we really don't need the body in this case. So tell you what, let's just select all these guys and Control L and just go ahead and hide that. The only thing we really need to mess with here is the head. So, deselect everything. Select this side over here, okay? And we're going to create a new vertex group, and let's call this one right. Okay? And we're going to assign all those. You remember, or you don't remember, but you might notice I'm leaving this center line deselected. Well, I'll tell you why shortly. So we got the right side selected and assign those vertices to that. Select the other side, same deal. Create a new vertex group, call this one left. Okay, and assign those. And now we're going to select this whole loop here in the middle. Excuse me. And just select them like that, I guess would be the easiest way. And let's set our weight here to 0.5. We're going to assign that one 0.5 to the left side, and we'll go ahead and assign it 0.5 to the right side as well. So now if we go into weight paint mode and select right side, you can see it's this complete right side, and there's a little bit of a buffer zone there between that one and the left side. So you can play with that and increase that if you like, get a smoother transition. But you know what, let's do exactly this. Select this line here, and we won't worry about the head. And let's make this one 0.25 and apply that to the right side. Okay, we're going to select this line here and select the left side and assign that. So now we go to weight paint mode and select those. See a little bit better of a buffer zone, and you can just play with that. You know what? While we got it selected, 0.75 assign to the right side, so it's a nice smooth fades out. Then we'll select this side, 0.75, and there we go. So now a little bit better transition. Okay, so that's our left side and our right side vertex groups. Now that's important because we say we only want the smile to apply to the left side. Well, we're only going to apply this shape key to the left side. So now you can see it only applies it to the left side. And do the same thing down here for the right side. And there we go. So that's how you get different shape keys applied to, or the same shape key basically applied to two different sides. So, okay, now kind of running late on time. I'm going to go ahead and call this one done. So part 17 is going to be done. I'll show you how to create the shape keys for the mouth. In part 18, we'll go ahead and create shape keys for the eyelids and the eyebrows, and maybe, yeah, that'll probably be pretty good for our purposes. maybe a couple more for the mouths just for phonetic purposes when we want to make him talk. So we create like an O shape, so he's a oo, or whatever, W's, things like that. So we'll just create some phonemes, or the ability to create phonemes with the various key shapes, keyframes, shape keys, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so thanks for watching part 17, and I will see you in part 18.